let's
All
go
right,
over
let's.
that SKC game versus my Loons, who I will just go out and say this is gonna be Connor's segment. I'm gonna say the Loons did not deserve 3 points here. Connor, break it down for us, and I'll shut up.
All right, this is the game that I know we've all been wanting to talk about. We got Alan's favorite. I'm Alan. Adam's favorite, Alan Polito.
Boo! Boo!
Adam's favorite, Alan Polito. We have Andrew's Loons, and then we have pretty much the game of the week. Although I feel like you can make an argument for Toronto DC this morning. That was also a good game, but we'll stick with this as game of the week. First half, I thought that the Minnesota defense did not look great, and SKC should have gotten a couple of goals, but they didn't. Despite the defense not looking great, I thought Metanier was pretty good on both ends of the ball. He was kind of one of their lone bright spots in the first half. But then we get to the goal. Obviously, that Pulido flick was unreal. That was so nice. I put that on repeat. I'll watch it all day. And then he plays the ball into Kiri Shelton, who might have had a tough finish ahead of him until Tyler Miller decided to be agent SKC and basically give him a goal.
Who scored that
And
goal? Sorry,
Shelton,
what was the first name?
Kyrie.
There you go. You said what did you say, Kiri before?
I don't know. I also called Adam Allen, so
Oh, we're having one of those days. Gotcha.
it's one of those days.
I've been called worse.
Yeah. I feel like Miller was trying to guess early on Kiri playing the ball across the box,
Yeah.
but it was a terrible mistake, and then he just left the entire goal near post open, and it was obviously an easy finish there, and put SKC up before half. And then we got into the second half, where we all know our controversial moment of the week happened. And I know Andrew's waiting to blow his gasket on this whole thing. But before we get to that, let's just kind of get into things. One thing I wanted to mention was I actually liked a comparison that Twellman made during the game where he compared the way.
Freeze. Never allowed to say you like anything Taylor Twellman does ever.
I know you hate him.
How long have you been?
I liked the way that he compared the way that Pulido played this game to Firmino for Liverpool. Whereas it wasn't just like a poacher's type of goal scorer, but he almost sat deeper and kind of linked everything together, almost as like a attacking midfield playmaker. And I thought he played that role perfectly. He was fantastic in this game. All right, so then let's get into the moment where Tim Melia gets sent off for questionable red card. And I'm not going to make any judge. I'm going to let Andrew go off on his thing about the judgment of whether it is or is not
Adam
a red
and I are
card.
going to argue this.
Okay, but one thing I do want to say is I watched the RSL game right after that. And basically an identical play happened when RSL got their penalty where Clint Irwin took out, I don't remember, Martinez. He took out Martinez in the box on pretty much the exact same play, and Irwin got a yellow. He did not get sent off. I would argue that it was worse because there was nobody behind Irwin blocking the goal. So I just think if you got to be consistent with it. If you're going to give Irwin a yellow, then Melia needs to be on a yellow, or if you're going to give Melia a red, Irwin needs to be on a red. But that's the only thing I wanted to say on that.
So
I'll let you guys get into that.
So before Andrew goes, the reason it wasn't a red in the Colorado game, and I didn't see the Colorado game, I went to bed. I couldn't stay up.
I didn't watch the Colorado game either. I was dead.
I went to bed at halftime, but after we watched the late game the night before, the Cincinnati game, I couldn't do it 2 days in a row. But I'd have to assume that it was because it was in the box. You gave a PK. You also can't give the red card. I know there's like a whole double jeopardy thing that people can argue. Yeah, the SKC one was outside the box, so they gave the free kick and then sent him off. Had it been a couple feet back, and he probably wouldn't have gotten sent off, but they would have gotten a penalty. But I'll let Andrew go first, and then I'll.
No, I want you to go first.
You want me to go?
Yeah, I want to hear. I need to hear something stupid before I get really upset. So please go ahead.
Wow. So I'm defending why it was a red card. Yeah.
That is your opinion, is it not?
It is.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So yes, there was a guy on his way back when the actual foul was committed. I don't think he was fully on the goal line yet. But that's a foul. It's last man. You can argue that I forget which defender was on his way back to try to cover the goal. But it's a foul, and because the goalie's the last man, that's a red card. I mean, it's literally what the rule is. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much my argument.
That's it.
I don't
That's
need
awful.
that's literally what the rule is.
That is awful. This is why I would never let you referee again.
Okay.
There is zero possibility that that is a red card. Before I really get into it, somebody tried to convince me on Twitter, or at the DP Pod 1, follow us on Twitter. Somebody tried to convince us that it was for serious foul play. Not a chance. I don't think anybody here thinks it was for serious foul play. And that guy,
denying clear goal scoring opportunity.
it was Dogso, right? It was a poor Dogso call, but it was Dogso, right? So we're going to forget the idea that it was serious foul play. Dogso is denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. What is a clear goal scoring opportunity? He takes his touch wide. Schoenfeld takes his touch wide of goal. He's got one person running on his right, another person running on the goal. And if he hadn't gone down, he's stumbling to catch his balance, which just gives somebody more time to get back on the line, right? It's not clear. It's not a clear option because he goes wide. He goes wide. So if he goes wide, excuse me.
Gracie agrees with you, I think. Or she agrees with Adam. I don't know. Probably Adam because she interrupted you.
Sorry. Gracie May is barking at a cat or something. There's no chance that you can see that that's a clear goal scoring opportunity. Comes out, Amelia comes out, stays big. First of all, he hesitated coming out. So that's on him. You're going to go for the ball, you go for it. Don't run and hold and run and hold. He comes out, he goes out with his knees tucked, trying to get the ball with his foot, misses him, catches the player. There's no intent for harm. There's no endangering the safety of opponent. So it leaves Dogso. That's the only reason that this referee is looking at it, says we need to do it this way. You've got the man running back on the line. You've got a guy 3 yards behind him who would have made a tackle anyway. And then you got the guy coming in from the right. That's 3 different players around him. It's harsh, man. It's such a harsh way. And this is weird, man, because I'm coming out here saying that my Loons didn't deserve a win. But they didn't. That is a harsh red to give. Never in a million years am I giving that a red because it's not denial of a goal scoring opportunity because there's a guy there. I think it's harsh. I think it's really, really harsh. And I wouldn't. I disagree. I don't think it's a red. I think it's really harsh to give a red there. I'm surprised VAR held it up. I think they probably held it up because there wasn't enough to say otherwise. For example, if he gave yellow and they were looking at possible red, I don't think they overturned it to a red, if you know what I mean, right? There wasn't enough to go either way. So I'd be curious to see if that red card gets overturned. I don't think it will, but I'd be curious to see it.
And yeah, I mean, wrong league, but we also saw Aston Villa player get sent off when Bruno Fernandes stamps on his leg trying to do a Maradona. So there are no rules.
Football's a wild game, man. Football's a wild game. But Gracie May.
All right, let's there is still more to this game because at the moment SKC is still ahead 1-0 even after the red card.
Fair.
So right before the red card happened, I would say that Minnesota was starting to get like the currents flowing. The attack was starting to look a little bit better. But then once that red card hit, flood was open. Minnesota was fully on the gas pedal, looking to come back in this game. And then they got their first goal off a great bowling by Jan Gregus. And it was an own goal, I believe, off of Kyrie Shelton. And then they obviously get their winner at the end. I believe it was Kevin Molino. So you have to say that the red card definitely played a factor in them coming back and winning this. They might have still been able to get a point anyway, but I feel like the red card definitely, you got to say it's a game changer. But for me, my man of the match was Metnier. I thought that throughout the game, he was good, both sides, defending and attacking. He was the one that started the attack, or you would get your MLS second assist for him on the last goal of the game. So he played it across the box, got everything going for them in that terms. But if the red card didn't happen and SKC win the game or even tie, I'd probably give man of the match to Polito.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how SKC look. I mean, I picked them going pretty much the whole way, I think. But it might have just been because the backup came in and didn't have the time to warm up and came into a game that was already pretty in flow. But can't say that I was that impressed with him. I think Tamilia is just a ridiculous loss if he's out for the next the rest of the tournament.
Oh, Richard Sanchez was
Not good.
I remember when he played. He was a Chicago guy for a little bit, and when he played that was when Chicago were awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just awful.
Yeah, double awful.
He was bad.
Yeah, like I said, the big games in week 1. We only covered 3. The 2 of them that represent the 3 of us, and then our game of the week up to this point. We haven't seen the LAs play Portland or Houston. We haven't seen anything from the last group yet. Just the way the recording works today. But let us know what you think about week 1 games. Let us know if you think red card or no red card. Big decision there. We all know who's right. And he's a true Red Bull fan.